like to call the public hearing on the 2021-2022 proposed budget to order. Next year's proposed budget totaling $259,601,834 and reflects a 0% increase from the adopted 2020-2021 school budget will be on the ballot for voter approval on Tuesday, May 18, 2021. I will now open the floor for comments from the public on the proposed budget. In accordance to board policy, each speaker will be allotted up to 3 minutes to provide comment, with an additional minute to be used for concluding his or her remarks. Seeing no more speakers, this concludes the public hearing on the proposed 2021-2022 budget. As a reminder, voters will be asked to vote on the budget on Tuesday, May 18th. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. For more information on the budget, visit the district website at www.mountvernoncsd.org/budget. Also on the ballot are 3 seats for school board trustee and 1 seat for library trustee. This concludes the public hearing. Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the greetings from Mount Vernon High School cafeteria. Welcome to the May 4th Board of Education meeting. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Good evening.
Good evening.
Trustee Red.
President.
Trustee Turnquist. Trustee Crump. Trustee Mitchell. Trustee Patterson.
Present.
Trustee McOwen.
Present.
Trustee White. Trustee Saunders. Trustee Miller.
Present.
The quorum is present.
Excellent. A couple of things before we get started with the business of the evening. First of all, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I just wanted to say on behalf of the Board of Education, or certainly for myself, I just want to say, I don't know how you do all that you do, but I thank you and thank you and thank you again for all your tireless labor on behalf of our children. And I hope that this small expression of gratitude helps you get through a few more weeks, but it's been quite a tough time, and don't think we fail to think about you on a regular basis and all the incredible effort you've had to put into continuing to educate our children during this time. So I just wanted to say thank you on that front. And and then I'll wait till we do reports. But I also wanted to say that I wanted to give a big shout out to the culinary program here at the high school. They just cooked an absolutely fantastic dinner for us, the best I've had since being on the board. So that's 7 years. Best food I've had at a board meeting in 7 years. And they did an outstanding job, and it was really something for everyone. But it was perfectly seasoned, beautifully prepared, thoughtfully prepared. I think with everybody's different palates in mind, so it was just excellent. So kudos to the Mount Vernon High School culinary program. They did an outstanding job. Okay. Dr. Gorman, do you have the superintendent's report for this evening?
Good evening, Madam President. One of Dr. Hamilton's, part of his vision is to build capacity, and he speaks about administration building capacity on a regular basis. So tonight, I'm honored to be sitting with Jonathan and myself, and we're going to help build capacity. And he is in attendance with us today, but he is testing the system to make sure that it is functionable, even if he couldn't make tonight's meeting. So, Dr. Hamilton, welcome. Madam President, I would like to take a moment to correct some misperceptions about the success of our Sundown Alternative Education Program.
Absolutely.
Our teachers and counselors and administrators are committed to each student's success. These students don't always fit your traditional classroom setting, but they do demonstrate all the characteristics of a successful student. including grit, determination, hard work, and commitment. I'd like to share a story that came to us this week from one of our sundown teachers. So this is from one of our teachers. I'm going to leave the student's name out of the email that he sent about her. But he writes, one of my students was in my Sundown Academy English class via Zoom online. She was a solid student. She was able to do the classwork and would at times focus on her academics, and on other times she'd disappear offline. Toward the end of the semester, she was due to give birth. One day she came into a Zoom call, and I recognized that she was at the OB/GYN office. She was getting a sonogram. We spoke for a bit, and although I told her it was unnecessary to contact me in such circumstances, she wanted to touch base with me. I told her I respected her and her efforts, and that I would work around her complex schedule. Not too long after the birth of her child, she had a falling out with her mother and moved elsewhere with her boyfriend. Her living situation crumbled badly. Despite this, she'd periodically come online and periodically get some work done. Eventually, she had enough work done to get credit for the class, and she successfully completed the semester in English. Had she not had the remote option, I don't believe she would have successfully navigated towards the passing grade. Because she had the virtual option, it provided a pathway to credit. If she needed to come into the building and sit for some hours to get credit, I would have lost her. She would have been a negative statistic. Instead, she was able to gain some academic success and progress. There are other stories like hers, and the remote virtual option has enabled them to stay connected to school, as well as gather more credits towards high school graduation. Separate to that story, we also believe in a blended environment. So while students may be online for classes, they will and can schedule one-on-one appointments with teachers, counselors, and staff. The traditional classroom approach of rows of desks was for a different generation and a different time and a different world. We are adapting and changing to meet the needs of all of our students. So while it might not look like your normal classroom, it is definitely meeting the academic, the social emotional, and the daily needs of our children. And I think that commitment is really essential for all of our students. And when we talk about equity, some kids need more, and they should get more, if that is what we truly believe, which is part of our belief system. I'd also like to just give you a brief update on our end-of-year ceremonies. We had met with all of our principals over the last 2 weeks, talking about graduations, proms, 8th grade ceremonies, kindergarten ceremonies, and we're taking direct leadership from the Department of Health and the County Department of Health, which has specific guidelines, very stringent guidelines, even though we're moving through the pandemic and vaccination is becoming more and more every day. There are specific outlines that we are following that speak to limitations of numbers of students at events, social distancing, wearing of masks, possible vaccination records and/or testing to participate, and limiting numbers of people that can come to a traditional ceremony. So in the next week, by the end of this week, the principals are following this comprehensive memo and guide, and they will be reporting to us all of their plans, and we will be fitting it into those guidelines that we're being driven by at this point. Of course, this is a moving target, and so as restrictions continue to evolve and move, we will adjust accordingly. I would also, lastly, Madam President, like to echo your sentiments towards Teacher Appreciation and Principal Appreciation Week. I think the teachers' work has been nothing less than heroic over this last year. It has changed the paradigm and the expectations, and the work and the effort that teachers put in daily is nothing short of heroic. So we appreciate everything they do, and without them, we would not be gleaning some of the success that we've had and some of the incredible lessons that we've learned over this last year. Thank you very much, and that concludes the Deputy Superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gorman. Moving on to communications from the public. Totally forgot about that. Do we have any communications from the public?
Yes, we do. Good evening. So there is no legal requirement to recognize public comment at meetings of the Board of Education. However, the board recognizes the critical importance of community discourse and involvement in the education of Mount Vernon's children, and accordingly, members of the public are invited to speak at the regularly scheduled board meeting, subject to the terms of the board policy. A speaker must register in advance by no later than 4 p.m. the day of the meeting by contacting the district clerk in person at 165 North Columbus Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, by phone at 914-665-5235, or by email. The board welcomes all respectful comments, whether praise or criticism. However, identifying or criticizing a specific student, parent, teacher, administrator, or other Mount Vernon education official or employee is strictly prohibited. Any such complaint must be presented and addressed through the proper administrative channels. Each speaker is allotted 3 minutes to speak. Up to 1 additional minute may be used for the speaker to summarize and conclude their remarks. If appropriate, board trustees and/or the superintendent or the staff members at the direction of the superintendent may immediately respond to the speaker's remarks. Also, please be reminded that due to district policy, we are not permitted to divulge the names in relation to personnel matters. Therefore, I will be reading these correspondences, but will be omitting the names mentioned in the transmission for privacy reasons. Our first correspondence is from Janice Pollard. Good evening, everyone. My name is Janice Pollard. I am a teacher at Pennington Elementary. It is my understanding that the principal may not be in his position after this school year. It would be an extreme loss for the Pennington family to lose such a valuable leader. This is my first year working under his leadership. He welcomed me to Pennington with open arms. He made the transition comfortable and easy. The level of support he has given has been like no other that I've experienced in my teaching career. He is extremely supportive and approachable. I can go to his office at any time and never feel intimidated. He always asks, "How can I help?" or "What can I do to support you?" Pennington would not be the same without him. We would love for him to remain our principal. It would be extremely difficult to fill his shoes. Thank you for your consideration, Janice Pollard. Our second correspondence is from Brenda Mills Hines. Good evening. I'm sorry that I cannot be there this evening due to health reasons. I am a teaching assistant at Pennington Elementary. I have the pleasure of working under the principal's leadership. He is one of the most passionate administrators that I have ever had the privilege of working beside, always striving to make Pennington a better place. He is a true leader. He puts effort into making sure that the students come first. He is one of the fairest people that I've ever met. He is supportive and approachable and goes out of his way for the staff, students, and families of Pennington. He always goes above and beyond the call of duty. The staff, students, and families love him. We hope that he can stay at Pennington. He is an asset to Pennington's learning environment, and he has helped each of us grow during his time here. Pennington has regained its rating as a top school in the district because of him. We thank him and look forward to continuing our partnership together. It is a hope that the Pennington family that he can remain our leader, and ask that the superintendent and the board members consider him remaining at Pennington as our principal. Thank you kindly, Mrs. Mills Hines. Our next transmission are from a group of concerned staff members. Dear Board of Trustees, the Pennington staff would like to express our sincere concerns regarding the possible departure of our principal. Unfortunately, for the past 3 years, Pennington has not had consistency nor stability with our administrators. During the 2019-2020 school year, we had an abrupt change in our leadership. When the principal arrived, he was incredibly supportive and worked collaboratively with the staff to put necessary systems and procedures in place. While working through the pandemic, he kept us abreast of the constant changes that were occurring at that time. He provided a great deal of support to staff members while working under unprecedented times. We are aware that he will not be with us permanently. However, we are begging that we have another academic school year under his leadership. We strongly feel that his expertise and leadership is greatly needed to finish putting our school back together. Thank you for all that you do for our community. Sincerely, concerned staff members. Our next correspondence is from Bethany Letty. Dear School Board, as an active member of the Pennington PTA and a class parent, I would like to learn more about the interview process for the principal position. I would also like to volunteer to be on the interview and hiring committee if you are looking for parent volunteers. My question for the board is, what will be the level of parent involvement in the interview process? I think parent involvement and transparency is crucial to a successful search and hiring process. Thank you, sincerely, Dr. Bethany Letty. And we do have 2 speakers in person. If you can please go to the microphone. Okay. Firstly, can we get Charlene Clark? Okay, perfect.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week, and for all your help as well. I took the time to come. A lot of people wanted to come, but we didn't know it was in person at first, so some couldn't make it. But for me, I'm going to start off that, in my opinion, I've been at Pennington for 4 years. I transitioned from a nearby, I transitioned from New Rochelle to here. And I've been at Pennington for 4 years, and during the 4 years, we've had eight different administrators, whether it's vice principal or a regular principal. As mentioned before, there hasn't been any stability, correct? So last year, when Mr. Gonzalez came in, I met him. He was very open, and he was transparent, and he said that he would be here a minimum of 2 years, or 2 sessions, but I don't think we've reached that as yet. It's a little concerning to me that now, in my opinion, I think we should keep him, right? But we don't want to make judgments off of an opinion. So I'm here to just give you a couple of facts. And some of the facts are already stated that the teachers have given. As a parent, he's been very transparent during the whole process through COVID, and even before that. He's been very helpful. He's very honest. If he's unable to answer a question, he says that. Not many people are willing to say they don't have an answer as a leader. Every leader, most leaders, you notice they want to have an answer and give you something, but he's straightforward. I don't have it. Let me go back to leadership, and I'll come back. If you ask a question, he will go and find the answer and then bring it back. That's awesome. He also is this is the most collaborative, the most transparent, the most open, the most honest. He's the most passionate principal that I've encountered in the building at Pennington. He's willing to, he really cares. You could tell genuinely that he cares for the students. You could tell genuinely that he cares for the staff. And you could tell generally that he cares for the parents. He has brought, and for the students to be successful in any environment, you need those 3 things, right? As well as the PTA. So that was the parents' hat. He's brought all those 3 persons together, working collaboratively. I haven't seen that in 4 years that I've been there. The PTA is willing to work with him, the parents are willing to work with him, and the staff is willing to work with him. He reignited, from what I've seen, a passion into the teachers. They're willing to even give more. This is the most I've seen them give to everybody, whether it's the PTA, the students, and to the parents. They've been more available that I've noticed and willing to do more. That's what I've seen as a parent. As a PTA member too, that's another hat I'm gonna put on. They've just been very supportive and willing. And it's hard to get that sometimes during a pandemic where they're being pressured to do a lot. And it's hard because, we're in the school, we're out of school, we're in school, we're out of school, and we're asking a lot of the teachers, but they're also giving a lot as well. And us as the PTA also work with them and try to be supportive for them. So everybody, Mr. Gonzalez was able to unite everybody to be able to be better and do better and give better. And you can see it in everything through the students, through the teachers, and through the PTA. That's a fact, and also my opinion. So your facts are able to be checked, and so you can be able to receive that information, and it's not subjective but objective information that you can have. The next thing is, a lot of people, when he came into an area that wasn't really ready. It was an upheaval right away. I think it's going to be an unfair situation to remove him from the situation now, which is Pennington, when we're now having stability, right? So we've been looking for stability, and we haven't had it for 4 years. This is the most stable that the school has been since I've been there in the 4 years. I think it would be an injustice to remove that from the students, the teachers, and the parents, and the PTA at this time. I do. I also believe that sometimes some people could be inflexible, right? Because as humans, we want what we want, and we want it now. We don't want to hear no. But what I like about Mr. Gonzalez is that he's fair. If it's no, right? And it's not, and he'll give you a reason why he can't do it. 1 minute, right?
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
to wrap up, thank
Yeah.
you.
So if it's no, it's no. But he doesn't say no like this. He's no because, no, let me find out more information. It's not just a hard no, and he doesn't give you background behind it. So I had something else to say, but I left my mind because I got all passionate. But it's okay, right? So that's it. In honesty, he's been doing a really good job. I think we should keep him. When administrators come, right, they start a new process. Everybody comes as an administrator with their own agenda and their own new process. To put the teachers, the students, and the parents into that again, to start a whole nother new process to get built up trust and unifying people, it's going to be hard. I think it is. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience and your ear.
Thank you very much for your valuable input. We appreciate your comments.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Carrie Peters Smith.
Hi, good evening. I'm Carrie Peters Smith.
I'm sorry, Ms. Peters Smith, can I just remind you to not use names
Yes.
of the administrators? Thank you.
Hi, I'm here tonight to represent Pennington PTA as their president. I realized that we were not on the agenda but with the principal. However, when the news came down, that's all that's been flooding, and I had to come out to be on their behalf. They're very concerned with the posting that they saw that the principal was up for interviewing, and they're not happy. Just like Ms. Clark stated, they're looking for consistency and stability, and that's right now we feel like we have that at Pennington with with the current principal, and we would like to continue that for a little bit more because as the pandemic is coming to an end, we would like to continue and see what real normalcy is like for the children. They only had about 6 weeks of him non-pandemic. He has done a wonderful job to ease and bring forward the information. So a lot of the parents are concerned. They wanted to be here tonight. We thought it was all virtual, but they just want to share their belief that they like the direction we're going in. We would like a little bit more so we could continue to go that. There's unity at Pennington. Right now, other schools are looking at his leadership roles. I know for where the PTA is concerned, we have so much support from him. He's helping us every step of the way, and other units are looking up to our units and taking his leadership and looking for his style in how we're partnering together. Last week, we had the opportunity to bring the Feeding Westchester Pantry to Pennington, and all hands were on deck. It was the first time we were in a building and we were done in under an hour. Everyone in the building was on help. That's what he brings forth. He brings forth unity and support, and I just think that this community needs it more than ever as we transition, and I would like to keep that going. My son is in the first grade, so he's been in Pennington for 3 years, and it's just the environment that's going and is thriving, and we'd like to just continue that to give some continuity to the family and the staff. The staff feels so supported, and as Ms. Clark said, they're giving much more, they're more available, they're giving the extra work. It's just because you feel supported, and we'd just like to continue that and to voice the opinion. So Pennington staff would like, Pennington family would like for the board to take it into consideration and meet with them to discuss this possibility and to see if we could have Mr. Gonzalez, the principal remain. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Madam President, that concludes our public comment for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Let's move on to committee reports. Mr. Mitchell, do you have a report this evening?
Not necessarily a report, but I would like to make some comment. First, definitely, again, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I want to just remind everybody that Principals Day just passed as well.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, it's cool, it's cool. So, principals,
I can't
again,
hear-
as we just saw from,
I can't
sorry.
hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the Darth Vader thing, sorry. We just heard from so many people in communications about principal, and Principals Day just passed. I think that it says something that right after Principals Day just passed, and we actually get to hear voices come out and speak about a particular principal. It's just to show you just how much that our principals in our district are needed and appreciated, as our teachers as well, and our TAs as well. So I wanted to mention that. And I also wanted to talk about, it's May, so we're at the end of the school year already and not too long from now. And I wanted to speak really quick on PTAs and the outreach that's needed for volunteers for our PTAs in all our school buildings. I sat in on the homeschool PTA meeting, the last one just recently, and that cabinet has been in place now. They actually had to go and extend for another year because it was so difficult to get parents to really be involved. And having sat in on past year Pennington PTA meetings, which have been just amazing with a lot of muscle and power, the energy is there. I want to just say today that is really needed in every last one of our buildings. Even through the pandemic, I personally saw how even though we couldn't be in the building, Zoom PTA meetings were actually more successful than, live in-person PTA meetings. And as a former PTA president at homeschool, I know how difficult it is. So I'm going to just make note to everyone out that's listening and everyone here, take it back. Your school needs a PTA, every last school. It's not just so that they can come home and sell candy and tell your mom and dad to come send some money for something. It's more to it than that. The schools are putting that money to use for things that the kids can really use and enjoy, and there's a lot more background to it, and we need our parents to really just take a look, listen, question, and really just jump in and get involved. You don't have to come in the building every single time. It can be done. We just learned from this past school year, it can be done successfully, even virtual. PTA is the only way. Let's make it happen. And that's it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Mitchell. Trustee Patterson?
No report.
Thank you. Trustee Red?
No report.
Trustee White?
First of all, I'd like to say happy Teachers Appreciation to all our teachers that worked this year and last year. I appreciate them, and I want them to know that. On my committee, they celebrated at Graham Elementary School. Earth Day was celebrated by the staff, the children, and the community. And they planted in the boxes, what are they called? Boxes? Planting beds. And now the children will be responsible for taking care of them for the rest of the school year, which is great. So, and also we had a successful ribbon cutting at the Nelson Mandela and Jose Zolokov School, which is fantastic. So I applaud our board and all the staff for making these things happen in our different schools.
Thank you. Trustee Saunders?
I do not have any reports tonight.
Okay, thank you. A couple things. One, Mr. McOwen, Trustee McOwen, the man on the screen.
Hi, everyone. Please tuck into your microphones. It's hard for me to hear if you're not right in your microphones. I just want to say I was at the Mandela Zolokov ribbon cutting. It was a wonderful event. I'm sure you can talk about it too, President. And I just want to say amen to everything Trustee Mitchell said. That's my only report.
Thank you so much. Yes, I would like to echo a couple of things. One, I was very impressed. I was able to attend briefly the event at Graham School, the planting. I think it's fantastic. I would like to suggest to, I would suppose it might be parent and community engagement, I don't know if it's you, Dr. BC, but I think it would be great if we make a concerted effort to have at least 1 or 2 planter beds at each school and make a commitment to do that. So I just think it's wonderful, you know, the students, obviously I was watching everything, I'm saying, well, we don't really have a sprinkler system here at Graham, or maybe we do, we have water, but it needs to be turned on. But anyway, I was saying that the students are going to have to be responsible for watering, because you can't be guaranteed that we're going to have rain on a regular basis. So I just think it's a really great exercise. And it was great tonight to have dill in our bread made by the culinary students that was grown in the Mount Vernon High School garden. So anyway, I think this is a wonderful initiative. I'm happy that our young people are learning about this. Arbor Day, there was an Arbor Day.
Micah.
Trustee McGowan, do you have something to say?
Oh, sorry. No, I just wanted to just comment about the gardening, that I totally agree with you, and that is, no pun intended, there's like an organic thing happening in the district right now, which is, some of us have tried for years, but it seems to be happening on its own, because I'm aware, we obviously have a revitalized effort to redo the gardens at Graham. I have heard about efforts at Columbus and Lincoln. There's garden beds, raised garden beds going in, a trap hagen that the PTA put in. But as you said, we have the desire, and having the resources of getting the beds installed is not really the issue. The issue is the commitment to take care of it and to get the water and to do the labor. And I just wanted to share one thing, is that I know at the trap hagen PTA, that was the question, is okay, if we're going to do garden beds, how are we going to maintain them? And they have turned it into a science assignment.
Exactly.
For the 6th, 7th, 8th graders at Traphagen. They're having a contest before the end of the school year to figure out a watering system for the garden beds over the summer. So they can figure out some way to have a unmanned watering system, so it's not on buildings and grounds, and it's not on the teachers or admin or anybody else to take care of that. And I just applaud them. It's a really creative, problem-solving way of dealing with it, is they put it to the best minds we have in the city, the minds of our students, and they're going to give a prize to whoever comes up with the best idea. So anyone who wants to do this, please, at your own school, let's be creative, let's get things growing here. It's happening, and I love it all.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I think there's a lot of curricular tie-ins, so that's wonderful. I attended an Arbor Day celebration at Hartley Park on Friday, and I just wanted to say that it was a lovely event. Mount Vernon has reclaimed its designation as Tree City USA, and there was a tree that was planted. It was wonderful. I just wanted to give a shout out to our students from a variety of different schools who represented the district extremely well with their comments about the environment and science and climate change, et cetera. They did a really outstanding job, and I was incredibly proud of them. We all should be very proud of them. And the last thing is that I wanted to just say thank you to Dr. Gorman and Dr. Baubles, because they have been working very hard with the foundation to put the final touches on a couple of programs that the foundation is going to be going out and fundraising for shortly. And they've really just worked very hard, and I really appreciate it, and the foundation appreciates it. So we're looking forward to, that organization is looking forward to getting going and bringing some new incremental programs to the district at no cost to the district. If no one else has any further comment, I would like to move to the agenda. First, I would like to ask, has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? Is everyone okay with moving forward with the agenda this evening?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I believe there was an article in the paper about the aging out students that are 21, that some of the districts are allowing them to go another year. life skills. Are we allowing that for our students?
It will, it's actually in the process of becoming a mandate that we extend school age from 21 to 23. It's pending review now at the Commissioner and Board of Regents. So obviously, if it becomes a mandated issue, we will have to comply. It is not mandated yet.
Okay. But will we do it anyway?
I was going to say that.
Dr. Gorman, if Dr. Gorman to
Just to put us, Dr. Hamilton on record, because I have the mic in front of me, that it is not a mandated policy, but the current legislature is being put forward to extend it to 23 years old. And of course, if that was the case, then of course we would do whatever we need to do to help our students.
any other questions or comments at this point? All right, great. So let's, by the way, Dr. Gorman, you mentioned talking about graduation, end of year activities, but is there any resolution yet, or we're still working on it based on the Department of Health guidelines?
So as we were talking, I brought up a bunch of the memos. There was guidance, our last guidance came on April 27th. Okay. In addition, there's a reporting system that's being required by the Department of Health also. And they really take it from the size of the celebration, whether it's indoors or outdoors, and they base it on numbers. So for example, in an outdoor event, over 200, anywhere from 200 to 201 to 500 people at 33% capacity requires a negative COVID test or proof of vaccination. And so that is a significant change in monitoring that and putting that together. And we've given them the ability to do that. A lot of that happens with capacity, but we'll have a full report for you within a week on exactly what our plans are, and then if the plans exceed certain limitations, we then have to report it to the Westchester Department of Health as well, and give them contact names, contact tracing, all the safety precautions that we take every day in our schools plus.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to the agenda. May I have a motion to approve Human Resources Resolution 5.1?
Motion. Second.
Any questions about this resolution? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. May I have a motion to approve Business Office Memo Resolution 6.1?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions about?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Sorry. Item number 7, rejecting the bids for the elevator repair and maintenance service contract.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step?
Mr. Silver?
Good evening. We already have an existing bid through another organization. The purpose of this was to see if we could do better than the existing bid that we have. And these bids we are rejecting because it's far worse than the existing bid we have. We will continue with the elevator company we now have. We were just testing the waters to see if we could do better.
Okay, thank you.
Micah? Trustee McOwen?
I have a question about item 4, the contract with Ms. Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, why is this just coming to us now, and why is it being backdated to January 1st?
Ms. Carlos, we were slowed down in training the people replacing Ms. Carlos. She retired in October. She did work part-time for us through December. The contract expired then. We were renewing the contract, and we had some concern about how the contract was going to be formed, whether it was going to be as a part-time employee or in another way, and we worked it out with Ingram and Smith. But she has been instrumental in training the staff who are replacing her, and so she has been working since January 1st, and we had to back it up to that time. And this contract ends June 30th, and it is only an extension of the same money that was originally authorized back in October for her. So there's no new money here. It's just continuing with her work.
And the reason for the delay is there was a legal issue about how she was going to be classified?
Yes, sir.
And was she kept in the loop during that time?
Yes.
Okay, I just reiterate, I've raised this comment many times. I do not like seeing resolutions 5 months late. I understand there's a legal issue, but we have an obligation to keep our HR tight and to know whom we're hiring and who's working in the district. But I'll be okay with this one tonight because she's an existing employee and not somebody new. But this is, we all know we have to be tighter, and we have an audit showing we got to be tighter with the paperwork on HR.
Exactly. Thank you. Any other questions on the business office resolutions? All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. May I have a motion to approve School Improvement Resolution 7.1?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
I have a question in terms of a general thing, because I think there's some confusion at the school levels. A number of parents reached out to me asking if their student can go to summer school because they want to, and I know that that was discussed here, but I just want to clarify that I'm giving out the correct information. So students can go to summer school either based on what the teacher suggests, right? And then obviously you have to get the parent's approval anyway, or that the parent can reach out and say, hey, I'd like my child to go, right? That's a nod.
So summer school available for all
students.
And it's going to be pre-K through,
pre-K through 12?
okay, pre-K through 12. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you.
I think I want to go to summer school. Anyway,
The STEAM looks really exciting in the afternoon.
yes. It's going to be fun and educational. All right, may I have, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
I abstain.
Trustee Saunders abstains? Okay. Okay. Motion carries. May I have a motion to approve Student Services Resolution 8.1?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions about the Student Services Memorandum? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? The motion carries. May I have a motion? A motion to approve Superintendent's Resolution 10.1.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. May I have a motion to approve Superintendent Resolution 10.2?
Motion.
Any questions about the lifeguard certification? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Can I have a question on that? Because a lot of people are asking about swimming at the pool, how long it will take after the lifeguards are certified.
I'm not sure how long the program.
I get to tell him.
I forgot about that. I do know that there are students who have already expressed interest. I spoke with the aquatic director. So we anticipate that the students will actually get a ramped up course so we can get the open swim and swim lessons in place as soon as possible. But I don't know that she's been able to reconcile. It's generally a 6-week program, but her goal was to ramp up the number of sessions in a shorter period of time in order for students to meet the hours and pass the test. So it's really going to depend on how fast and how effective students are with mastering the skills and passing the test.
Yes, they're very interested in that swimming pool.
I've been asked if the school district would rent out the pool for swim teams or something like that.
I got a request for that as well, yesterday. I received an email with that, and of course, we're open to that after it is scheduled around our community access and our students, and then whatever lanes remain open, we will be able to rent with the board's consent.
Thank you. I have a question about facilities. A lot of people are asking when the fields are going to be open for them to walk around and jog at the high school field.
May 15th.
May 15th?
May 15th, I had a question from the community also about the tennis courts. May 15th from dawn to dusk.
Okay.
Right from Mr. Policio's lips to my ear.
Okay.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve Board of Education Resolution 11.1, the acceptance of minutes from April 19th?
Motion.
Any questions about the minutes?
No.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion carries. Now I need a motion to go into executive session.
Motion.
For what purpose?
So we are entering into executive session this evening for the purposes of discussing lunch monitor negotiations, an internal governance matter, and the employment history of a particular person or persons.
How long?
We are, actually, our public business will be finished when we go into executive session.
Okay.
So
We're not gonna come back.
I want to thank those who attended and shared their views, their opinions. I want to thank Mount Vernon High School for hosting us and the culinary team once again for preparing a very sumptuous meal. All in favor for going into executive session?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Okay, we will see you again May